Hey guys, it's Ildi from Neurocentric Health and Fitness, and today I'm doing this video from home. The reason for that is I have had a little fender bender and I managed to break my hand in 4 places. I have 4 broken bones. This is my left hand, and you can see the little axis, 4 bones, and you can see some titanium discs in there. If I turn my hand, you can see the 4 little axes again. I just want to show you where I broke my hand. The history is what happened. I took a surf lesson and the waves were much bigger than I thought and much stronger, and they just slammed the surfboard. I tried to reach for it, standing on the wrong side of the board, blah blah blah. Novice mistake. No blame. I had the best time I could ever ask for, so I can't wait to rehab this thing and go back and take another lesson. The good news is, although I have 4 broken bones, after the x-ray that I reviewed with my doctor, and again, thank God I work in rehab, I decided not to cast the injury. If I have put a cast on, that would mean that 4 to 6 weeks of complete immobility from my fingertips over above my elbow. There's a lot of bones and joints that are healthy and they need to be moved, even if I have a few broken bones, 4 if you will. Now please don't do that unless you, a professional, go with what your doctor says. So I chose not to put a cast on. So I have the chance to do massage, do lymphatic drainage, do acupuncture, do mobility work, everything I can to heal this injury. As you can see, I have these titanium discs on my hand. I am a huge believer. I usually use the product from P10, and I do like the discs because I can actually put the disc on the specific area where the bone is broken. These discs are helping to decrease pain. It's quite funny when people ask me, oh, are you in pain? Bloody hell I am. I have 4 broken bones. Those are broken bones. You are in pain. However, these discs are really helpful. The titanium discs, they create a different electrical signaling in the body, so they can reduce the pain. They can increase the healing process, speed it up a little bit, if you will. They also release muscle tension. They release the tension from the connective tissues, that ligaments and tendons that connects bone to bone and bone to muscles. And there are a lot of muscles and tendons inside of our hands. Now you can see I can kind of point with the finger, so that's good, but if I just want to hold up to this little thing, my fingers are not strong enough yet. It's been about 10 days. The swelling has gone down. I'm going to show you what else I use to create this injury to go away as much as I could. I'm a big fan of kinesio taping, and I have been using the tapes from the original Kinesio, different different colors, different strength of tape for different injuries. Oops, that's a full tape, and you could see I just lost it. There is no strength in here. I could not hold it. I usually use this is the neutral color. I usually use the black tape when I have a serious injury, and I think we could call this quite serious. I have already pre-cut the tape, 2 pieces, so I won't need to take 3 hours because that's what it takes to cut the tape. I have cut 2 different pieces. One piece is going to be on my fingers and on the palm and on the wrist to stabilize the injury. When you have broken bones, you don't want the bones to move and heal in a position that they are not lined up. So we're going to be using the short tape with a little bit of cut between them. And the long tape that I cut, you can see there are several stripes in there. We're going to be using that on the other side of the hand to drain the lymph, the waste product of the healing. When the bones are healing, they create waste products inside the cells, and that waste product needs to be driven to the lymphatic nodes so the body can clear the waste product. You don't want to have the waste sit in there and slow down the healing process. When the waste just sits in there, it creates extra inflammation. So these are the things that you have to consider when you break a bone, when you have any kind of injury. It's not just a broken bone is never just a broken bone. We have to consider the lymphatic aspect of it. We have to consider the skin aspect of it. That skin needs to be rehabilitated. We have to consider the vascular, the blood flow. If I'm in a cast, I'm really restricting the blood flow and the blood flow that carries the oxygen molecules to help to heal the injury. Now again, please take this with a grain of salt, whatever is the English expression for that. Do not go against your provider, doctor, orthopedic guy suggestions. If you don't feel comfortable with what they suggest, get a second opinion. Do not rely on your own suggestions unless you are a professional. All right? So here we go. I already have the titanium discs on, as you can see. And now we're gonna put the tape on. The first tape is coming. My ring finger and my middle finger are broken, and the two bones in the hand are broken. So we do need to stabilize those bones, so when I move around the house, even if I bump my hand, the bone's not gonna be slipping from side to side. And you have to bear with me here a little bit because doing this with one hand and just some fingers is not the best, not the quickest thing. So how you can, these kinesio tapes they already stretched on the paper that they have been attached to. So you would cut the tape, and again, if you're not a professional, you might not know how to cut it. See, this is even just to stabilize the hand while I'm opening up the tape at the paper tape on the bed is quite painful. Taking painkillers is an option. After a week, I decided to stop the painkillers. Not because of any kind of other reason, I just don't like to take pills, and I try to work with everything else that I can instead of pharmaceuticals, unless I really need to. So I'm gonna have to put my hand down, just bear with me a little bit. Placing the tape, actually, how should I show that? Well, let's see. Okay, so you see, this is the reason it's nice to have a professional who would do that for you, but right now I don't. So I'm just gonna have to do this. Obviously, it's not the perfect solution when you have to tape your own yourself and you don't have a helper in there. So I placed the two little slits on the ring finger and the middle finger. I'm gonna place my hand in a full, there is no extension or flexion at the wrist. I'm gonna keep it neutral. Actually, I'm gonna bend just a tiny bit from the top of the fingers. This is more relaxed for the tendons and the ligaments, but the wrist is gonna stay neutral. And I'm just gonna pull on the tape while I'm sliding my index finger down and pulling the tape, making sure that the wrist and the other hand bones are steady. Okay, and then you just have to rub this. This tape is heat activated, so it's going to be activate when you just rub on it. I'll show you in a second. There is no this tape is hypoallergenic, that's what I would like to say. So everybody should be okay with that. If you tape yourself and if you get some itching after a couple of hours or right away, you might want to take the tape off, get a smaller piece and put it on some other areas of the body. And if you get a reaction, the tape is not good for you. So as you can see, is only two slits with a very short stabilizing from here all the way through the hand and to the wrist joint. Now, the hardest part is going to be to tape for the lymphatic drainage. When you tape for lymph release, you want to get the waste product away from the injured side towards the lymph nodes, eventually up to your collarbone, where one of your huge lymph nodes is where the body drains all the waste product, if you will. And this is what is going to look like. Again, bear with me. If it was my leg, I could tape it much quicker with my hands, but even just to make a pinch, let's just say, is not ideal. Whenever I think about injuries, I also have to say that how we view injuries, how much of a threat that injury is to us is gonna play a role, how much we think, how much pain we're gonna be in. So when the board smashed onto my hand, I didn't panic, but I knew I broke my hand. I didn't know I broke 4 pieces of my hand. But since this is my money-making hand, this is how I earn my living, that kind of increased my pain level. If my hands had nothing to do with how I make my living, that would not be an issue. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna have to put my hand down and I'm gonna have to figure out how long this tape is and create a little bit of, make the distance a little longer, because I am gonna be pulling on the tape. This would be a different way to do if I have a helper, but again, you just do what you can. The first stripe of this tape is coming to my pinky. Although the pinky finger is not broken, but there are the bones that break in the hand, they are really close to the pinky bone. They actually connected through a joint, so I need to drive the lymph, the waste product, away from that. And this is what's gonna help with the very first strip of this tape. So I'm coming on the outer side of my hand, and I'm gonna pull that. I left my scissors in the kitchen, so even if the tape is too long, I will be cut it off later on. When I get to the hand, I try to come towards the back of my palm and get that tape directly over my pinky finger. Again, at the end, I will have to cut this because I did make it a little too long. So this is covering, as you can see, the side of the palm, and it comes up over to the pinky finger. The second part of the tape is very important because this is the finger bone and the bone under the finger in the palm that is actually broken. So this has to be put on with a lot of specification and paying attention. I'm gonna come up. You will have to leave some space between the stripes so the lymph can drive up towards the lymph nodes. When I come towards the wrist, I am pulling on the tape just a little bit. I try to target the line of that finger, of that ring finger, and you can see there is space for the waste product to flow towards my elbow, from there flow towards my shoulder and to the lymph node. Again, this is a little bit of a pain in the butt to do it, but you're gonna do it well. So the next stripe of the tape is gonna come, again, leaving a little space, is gonna target my middle finger. It has to be right on the bones that are broken. Bones and joints. You can see there is space between the first and the second, there is space between the second and the third, and these 2 fingers and the hand bones that are broken. I'm gonna activate the tape later on. And I have one more, and the reason I'm gonna tape the index finger too, because there are joints where the bones meet in the hand that are injured, and I need to drive that waste product away from that injury site. The more I can convince, if you will, the waste product to get away from the injury site, the more the healthy, the clearer bill those joints will have, and the faster they can recover. So the fourth sleeve is coming onto my index finger. Now once I'm done with that, I can stabilize the end of the tape, and you can see this is almost like a freaky glove, all right, on the top of your hand. The top of the hand, top of the arm is driving that limp away. The bottom of the hand, the palm, the fingers are stabilized for making sure that the bone is not moving. All right, so that was it for today. I'm gonna keep you posted on what else you could do. I also have some slings that I got, and I put them on at night on the top of the tape, where so I just making sure that when you move around at night, you're not rolling on your hand or your arm. Let me know if you have any questions. The Kinesio tape and the titanium discs are amazing, not only for broken bones, but for bruises, for muscle activation, muscle release, any kind of chronic pain issues, any kind of issues that you would have tried all kind of different things and they don't work. Give yourself a try. If you have any questions, you know where to find me. Just send me a message and we can talk about where would you be able to tape and how. I can guide you through, just like I did in here. These tapes should stay on 3 to 4 days. I usually take it off after 2 days and tape it differently, because in 2 days things do change and they heal. So obviously you need to pick up and create a different structure, support structure. These are, you can keep them in the shower. Just make sure that you don't dry them with the hair dryer, because then you're gonna burn your skin and you don't wanna have a burnt skin over your broken bones. So just tap it with the towel or let it dry. You could ice, if you have an injury, you could put ice on the top of the tape, that's fine. You could even get acupuncture with the tape. You just have to make sure that your practitioner knows how to do that and how to address the points that he or she wants to access. Again, I know this was a long session, but I hope it was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions.